Hi there, welcome. This is SportsCenter from the nation's capital. It's a blast to come to work pretty much every day because every night in sports is nuts, and this is yet another one. The Cleveland Cavaliers extend their NBA winning streak to a dozen in a thriller. They clinch a playoff spot in the process. What Donovan Mitchell had to say post-game, unexpected pair of Celtics make NBA and franchise history in Boston. Think about what you got to do that. We'll explain in just a moment. And speaking of history, the Great Eight continues his pursuit of the Great One at Madison Square Garden in a thrilling game. Ovechkin inches a little bit closer to Gretzky on the way. But back to the game that we followed on Wednesday evening. We say that the Oklahoma City Thunder are a wagon, and they continue to be just that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander off a 51-point game, knocks down that three, and the Thunder had the ability to go on runs in a quick blink of an eye. There's two more, and it's an 11-0 run. Later, it's Jalen Williams' turn after the bucket from Ja gets them a bit closer. You heard Williams say and one? It is and one. Now into the fourth, about halfway through, Shai. So smooth with it, the head fake to get the gigantic Edie off his feet. Buries another. And after a 50-plus point night, a quiet 41. The man is just in a special space right now as the Thunder get the victory. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is thrown on the headset. Shai, hey, this is Scott Van Pelt, and man, this is long overdue. I've been hoping that we could get a chance to say hello. So welcome to the show. Thanks for taking a moment.
Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. So 41 tonight, and you've been a star in this league for a while now, but it feels this year that there's another step in the evolution, another gear that you found. If you could describe sort of the space that you're playing in on a nightly basis, how would you describe it, Shai?
I'm just having fun with the game. Nothing more than that. I'm trusting my teammates, trusting my work I put in the offseason, going out there and just trying to have fun and play free, and I'm being rewarded because of it.
We see your teammates on a nightly basis with our guy Nick Gallo, right? Like, you guys have so much fun in those post games, and it's the word that basketball teams use a lot is connected. And the fact that you guys seem to enjoy each other's company so much, how much does that have to do with the level of play that you guys, again, are putting out on a nightly basis? Because it truly seems that you enjoy each other as much as anything.
Yeah, it makes us who we are and why we've been so good this year. We can play through ups and downs. We trust each other through the good times and the bad times. And we know that the work that we put in, and because we're so together on both ends of the floor and off the floor, that the things will just work out for us, and they have so far.
I think everyone last year, Shai, made such a big deal about the relative youth, and you're still a very young team, but you did what you did last year, and now here you are again. If there are lessons learned in that step in the process that apply this year, what might they be when we get to the most important games of the year in the playoffs?
Yeah, we got to be ready for the moment. We have to play a certain way, build certain habits. We talked about those, obviously, throughout the summer, and then this whole season. Our main focus is to be a better team than we were yesterday, and we've been doing that so far this year, and if we continue to do so, we'll be right where we want to be.
I appreciate you taking a minute. It's been a blast to watch you guys play, and hopefully at some point in the playoffs, after another dub, we can visit again. I thank you for taking the time this evening.
Thanks for having me. Yes, sir.
All right, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a 41-point night, and OKC continues to roll. Best thing I saw on a Wednesday. It's the Boston Celtics without Jason Tatum. That's okay. They have Peyton Pritchard. Step back three, Celtics up 4. Pritchard, corner three, shot clock winding down.
Good defense.
It wasn't, I mean, nothing wrong with any of it. This is a clean look. Oh, and he's on one. 4 threes in the first quarter. What are you up to, Scott? What's so good about this? Hang around. Look at my guy Tirico throwing on the headset with Scal. Huh? That's Derek White. He hits the three. And he hits another three. And corner three. By the way, Portland's good. Steve says they're going to make the play-in.
I got him.
They tie things up. Well, they're not going to win tonight because Pritchard and White are cooking. 11 of 18 from three. Pritchard again from three. The lead is now grown to 16.
Oh, my gosh.
Pritchard.
Can you imagine?
No. I mean, I'm happy to put up the shots, but I can't imagine. Oh, we get to hear him, Tirico on the mic. Mike Tirico, bless the mic.
What? Come on. Oh, come on. Give it to me, Prince.
He had 10 threes and 43 points, but that's not all. White from the logo, and he had 41. 9 of 17. Imagine scoring 41 and having 9 threes and not having the most points or threes in a game. Amazing night for a franchise that's got remarkable history, as Peyton Pritchard and Derek White both dropped 40 for the first time in their careers. They're the first pair of teammates in NBA history to each record their first 40-point game in the same contest. They're the first teammates in the storied history of the Celtics to score 40 in the same game, and their 19 combined threes are the most by any duo in the history of the NBA. All that, and we haven't gotten to the hottest team yet, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. About Unis, Kevin Love returning for the first time since he left. And there's Mitchell Euro stepping and laying it in.
Oh, good look.
Huh?
Oh, good look.
He's rolling right now, Allen. They're up by a lot, and when they're up a lot, they're 33-1 this season. But Bam Adebayo in Miami, they signed up for 4. Now it's a 2-point game. Check that. Shooter. Duncan Robinson has the Heat up 1. Then it's Adebayo, mid-range bucket. Now it's Miami who's done so. Adebayo had a season-high 35.
Eat the bigs.
Don't let the Strus get loose. Max Strus has the Cavs down 2. Now it's Mitchell's turn, in rhythm. Give me all 3 of these, and the Cavs back in front by 1. Under a minute to go. Mitchell. Oh, he gets ripped. Kyle Anderson knocks the ball off his leg. One is it. However, he stepped out of bounds. Spo can't believe it. Take another look. Man, there's just so little room to work with. Cavaliers win their 12th game for the 3rd consecutive time this year. Think about that. 3 12-game winning streaks in a single year, becoming the 2nd team in the history of the league with 3 of those in a single season, joining the Mavs and Dirk Nowitzki.
Shut it down!
In the 6-7 season. That's a great drop, by the way. We should use that more. Victory clinches a playoff spot for Kenny Atkinson's squad. They're the first team to do that this season. Of course, they made it last year, lost to Boston, and then their coach was asked to go. He's in Detroit, and that's working out well. Last time the Cavs were the first team to clinch a playoff spot, it was LeBron's first stint in Cleveland. Including Wednesday, Cleveland improves to 20-6 in clutch time games, which is when the score is within 5 in the final 5 minutes of the 4th, and overtime, a significant improvement from last season when the Cavs had a losing record in clutch time. Kendrick Perkins joins me now. And Perk, I'm going to start with this Cleveland team. Look, they were good last year. But in the same way as I just talked to Shea about OKC, right, you could see evolution, taking the next step forward. Boston's still the champs until they're not. But what do you make of Cleveland as a title threat?
Look, they're the biggest threat to the Boston Celtics, Scott, in the Eastern Conference. And they check all boxes when you look at their roster, right? They have bigs in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley that's getting it done together. They have a dynamic backcourt in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. Then they have great bench play from Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter. Here's the thing. Tonight, those are the games that this Cavalier team need, right? In the clutch, being able to figure things out. We heard Donovan Mitchell in his interview talk about the 2 turnovers he had, the 1 turnover that Darius Garland had, and said that how they got to get better. That tells me that this team is locked in and focused and keeping the main thing, and that's actually getting prepared for the playoffs and preparing to make a deep run and possibly win the NBA championship.
Yeah, but you're still going to have to deal with Boston, and I'm still shaking my head, Perk. In my life, I've been doing this a while. I can't remember a dude having 9 threes and 41 and not having the most points or most threes on his team in a given night. How significant is it for Boston to continue to have guys step forward who aren't named Tatum and Brown, and there are hopes to win another one?
Scott, let me say this. A couple of days ago, I said that the Boston Celtics are going to repeat and win the 2025 NBA championship. And I
Okay.
was called everything but a child of God. And tonight proved my point. You know why? Tonight proved my point. Seriously, you have your fourth option and your sixth option both go for 40 pieces, all flats. That's how dangerous this team is. When they're healthy, there's no team in the NBA that's going to be able to beat them in a 7-game series, Scott. It is hard to do. These guys are stars in their role. They play a gender-free basketball. And when you look at their starting five, there's no other team in the league that has a starting five that's all two-way players when they're healthy. This team is going to repeat if they're healthy come postseason.
Perk, I've been hearing you say for years 40-piece all flats. Does that mean I can have the drums? Because who likes the flats? Give me the drums. You don't want the drums, Perk? Come on.
I do like the flats. In my household, we do order wings all flats. You can have the drumsticks though, Scott. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not gonna judge.
Then we'll get an 80-piece, 40 flats and 40 drums, and we'll be straight. All right. Hey, I want to close with this because I know you're a buyer of OKC, and I don't. Why wouldn't you be? They're a spectacular team. I asked Shea about this, and I'm interested in how you view it. The idea of being as young as they were a year ago and doing what they did, but what you learn along the way. Because we see a mature group even as young as they are. We see a connected group that we saw last year. But are they better this year than they were last year?
Absolutely. And they have culture, Scott. They have culture and they have identity. And that's on the defensive end. They are so physical defensively. They get into you. They frustrate you. They're tied together on the string. They get back in transition. They check all the boxes, and they have the personnel to get it done. It's no drop-off when you look at what they bring to the table on the defensive side of things. When you hang your hat on the defensive side, the sky's the limit, even when you're not shooting the ball well, and that's what we've been seeing out of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And so as loaded as the West is, and as interesting as all the other stories are, you feel like that's the finals team, correct?
Scott, let me read this off to you real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thunder defense leads in. They're first in defensive ratings. They're first in half-court defense. They're first in rim protection. They're first in defense versus on-ball screens. They're first in defense versus drives. They're first in defense versus isolation. They're first in deflections per game, first in steals per game, first in opponent turnover rate, first in points per game off turnovers, first in opponent points per game off of turnovers. Like, what else do you need? What else do they need to show you? They're going to lock you up defensively.
Yeah, I was going to have to tell you, the show's only an hour. I didn't know if you were going to keep reading first. But look, hey, that explains why they're 51-11, man. You have no argument for me. Look, there's some vets out west. It's going to be filled with tough hills to climb. But, I mean, everything worth having in life's on the other side of something difficult. So we look forward to seeing them as we get closer to the playoffs. Perk, I always enjoy you, man. You are a child of God. Don't forget that no matter what people tell you on the internet.
I appreciate you, SVP.
Yes, indeed. All right.